Funny, I'm in a pickle of talk about a timeline merge. I have a little sort of prehistoric insect that I don't know how it got into my house. It's a praying mantis, and they're harmless, but they're big. And they fly, and I'm always delighted when I see one outside, but now I have one hanging out on the wall in my kitchen. And because they fly, I'm nervous to be around it because I don't know when it's going to decide to take off. So it's a cool morning. I have my front door open. The heat is on. I'm hoping that this insect hasn't chosen to come into my kitchen to die. I don't know. I need to spend some time looking today, finding more information. I have to go to the library. Maybe I'll even get a book on the marvelous praying mantis. And I'm very content to leave it alone, but right now I'm actually wearing a hat because if it should decide to fly around, one of the things I wouldn't want to happen is have it end up in my hair. So this is an interesting timeline merge for me because in a reading that I did for myself for the new moon, interestingly, there have been a lot of signs and synchronicities since the new moon reading that I did for myself that are really kind of validating the information that came through in that reading. And one of the cards that came through was Grasshopper, Take a Leap of Faith. And in that particular deck, which I enjoy very much, there's no praying mantis. And so I'm just saying, I'm seeing it as a sign and a synchronicity, but, and I do think the praying mantis is very beautiful. So there it is on my kitchen wall, but it's a little bit distracting. And I didn't wash my dishes last night, so my kitchen's a mess right now. And I may just leave it until this creature either drops or decides to move on somehow. Hopefully it's going to just fly. One, I have an instinct to go outside and land on the screen door, and then getting it back outside would be an easy task. But right now, I'd have to climb on a ladder to reach it. And this is just one of the little funny things that can happen. I'm just home minding my own business, and now I have a little prehistoric bug that's a sign of a synchronicity, but I would love to know that it's gone outside and been safe. Okay, so there we go. Now, it's beautiful. It's indicating a shift in a change in the wind of my world, and I'm very pleased about that. Now, what I'm doing here is I'm reading the central channel, the spine of this reading. So we do have the guardian at the gate. We do have the timeline 0 point reset. We also have death, which indicates another major shift in consciousness where something that has been too small and contracted is now about to open into expansion, and a shift in identity. And that may often feel like a little tiny wee bit of a death, and it can bring some sorrow. It can bring up some emotional feelings and memories, but it's a very positive movement in transforming and being part of our soulful evolution. So here we have death coming out. So something in this timeline next merge is going to be bringing forward the opportunity to let things die, as in the death of a consciousness that is contracted and too small. So this isn't something to fear. This is just a change in the form of your life and a change in your subtle energy bodies and a shift where your emotional information may become much clearer, and you may be really, really very aware of when this kind of a transition happens for you at any given time. Then we have out Taten the Self, and for me this card is she's a real powerhouse. She is a beautiful feminine energy. I think of her as feminine. You know, fairies are more or less androgynous unless they're depicted differently, but this is her, and she has the ability to generate what I call an angle of rotation particle spin, which means she can turn your world around 180 degrees overnight. So this is coming as part of the transition in this new timeline merge where things may be changing radically and very quickly. Now sometimes, as we've been going along since 2016, when these changes, shifts in angular rotation of particle spin, that's a term that I feel comes from our understanding about quantum physics, when that comes along, you may also have some physical difficulties because it causes a shift in how your body functions. You may have some vertigo, you may have headaches. It's because you're going through the spin. Now, if you're able to relax and recognize when this comes, now I recognize it because I've been going through these for so many years now, and at first it was rough, but now it's become pretty gentle, and I can feel when one is on the way because I feel like I'm on a sailboat and a wave has swelled, and if I don't grab onto a rail or something on the boat, I'm going to fall. So that's the sensation for me, is a really interesting shift in my own sense of physical balance. And then I recognize that that's happening, and I call it listing to one side. And when that happens for me, I know that I need to rest. I need to have a quiet day, maybe take a nap, or maybe more than one nap, and allow my body to move through the new channel of quanta information, light, sound that is changing me, and it is actually changing me at a physical level. So I'll give you that heads up, because it could be that this next timeline merge is going to be a rocker and a roller, and you know, you'll have some context for it, perhaps. Hope so. This information has been really very helpful in our soul group, because we've been going through these things individually and then also together, sometimes on the same day in the same. It's amazing. Great stories around that. All right, so now we know what the spine is of this journey that we're about to take. I'll probably do an extended, but now I want to focus on who are the counterparts. What's happening for them as they're coming, you're coming into this timeline shift. So first we have these energies out for the divine feminine. The divine feminine, some of you may feel that you've been tucked away, being reflective, being quiet, feeling yourself going through major change. This could be all kinds of major change, and some of them could have been very disruptive because we've had a lot of tower energy in the last few weeks, especially since the Lion's Gate. So that's a good time when we come into a tower moment. Rather than panic, it's a good time to get quiet and have a good look around and ask, gee, what's really going on here? What's really going on with me? So many of you divine feminines have been actively in the hermit mode, and some of you are now feeling this beautiful transition where you're coming out of that hermit mode as this beautifully transformed butterfly. So this is an archetypal image of transformation because of, you know, the butterfly is a lowly caterpillar, and then it spins its cocoon and it comes out as a completely different insect. Now we have the butterfly, which indicates transformation. We also have the firefly, which I think indicates the scale of this transformation. And I think many of you divine feminines have been experiencing that while you've been in this hermit mode and while you've been going through your tower moments, Your light has gotten incredibly intense, but much, 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 much more contained. And in a sense, you've been feeling pretty small and unseen and unrecognized, almost to the point of being invisible. I don't know how many of you have ever had a direct encounter with a firefly, but they're beautiful and tiny, and their light is fleeting and intermittent. So this is what I feel, many of you divine feminines, this is the current energy that you're in, and it's up to you to gain some insight as to where this perspective of awakening and feeling your powerful light has changed, and the way that you're expressing with it has changed. And I would say, for me, this represents intensity, and it's the intensity of laser. So you haven't lost power, you've concentrated it. So that's the shift for me, coming from a period of growth and quiet reflection into a recognition of a major transformation, which has you moving at a spiritual level into incredibly beautifully focused laser balance, laser use of your gifts and your abilities. So for me, the Hermit represents the divine feminine on the physical level. The butterfly is current energies from the emotional body, and the firefly is actually, for me, a spiritual energy in this reading today. So there you are, divine feminine. That's pretty powerful stuff. Okay, now we have, I'm going to show these two cards first for the divine masculine. Here you are, divine masculine, in your full power here. And you are blazing. Your transformation has taken you into a completely newly awakened sense of who you really are, your insights about your own life and your soulful evolution and journey and challenges, and you are absolutely in this place of beautiful grace and power and strength, even as you are coming out and building a new life. And this may be the result of a recent tower moment as well. And so the third card that we have out for the divine masculine, we have not only the Phoenix, but we have the Star, because I feel this has also been a transition for you, divine masculine, in how you perceive your divine feminine energy, both within you and without you, and how you are combining fire and water as a part of a powerful new development in your soulful evolution. So that's what we have out here for the divine masculine. And I feel that the Phoenix is your spiritual space. It's what's going on in your higher subtle energy bodies. The horse represents what's going on in your physical and etheric bodies here. You may be feeling pretty good, pretty strong, pretty empowered. And the Star is reflective of your emotional space, that this is a healing for you. You've been in a time of rebalancing yourself emotionally. And again, this may be following through on some tower energy that has hit your life in terms of career, relationship, people, places, and things that have moved you into a beautiful, profound, and very fluid time of deep, concentrated healing. Okay, so I want to show you this because here you are. Here's your energy physically, and here's your energy spiritually, and here's your divine feminine counterpart. So this is, for me, a beautiful card of the divine masculine moving into a space where he is being very protective of this divine feminine energy and this gorgeous focused laser light, which I feel he's resonating with in his upper energy centers in the third chakra. I mean, not third chakra, the third eye energy. So he's seeing things clearly, he's looking at things directly, he is recognizing this energy is in his life, and it's growing him, it's supporting him, and its laser focus is something that he recognizes as precious and something he's got the energy and the intention to protect. All right, so there we have our who's who in this reading. Now, in the middle, the bridge space between counterparts, we have Mike the Myomancer. And this is very much about details, handling details, handling details, handling details. This is an opportunity to get things lined up so that you are doing the utmost to cooperate with the universe, trying to bring you what it is that is going to be so beautiful for your soulful evolution right now. Okay, so that's who we've got here, and another energy that we have out between partners in the current energies in this new timeline set is the Fool. And for those of you who know the tarot, you recognize that the Fool is the 0 card, and here we have the 0 point energy. And just imagine this Fool is going to step off this cliff and he's going to walk into a new dimension, a new experience, a shift in consciousness, and he's ready. Complete unknown. The Fool's journey is a chosen, voluntary, taking a step into a new and complete unknown reality, whether that's for a day, a week, a month, or a year, or for the rest of a lifetime. So this is a really sweet validation of just with an open heart and open eyes and trust in the universe, walking in to the 0 point energy and saying, okay, let's go, I'm ready. And that is what one of the functions of the guardian of the gate is, to make sure that you can't go through that kind of a major shift if you're not fully prepared for the shift in consciousness and all the change that it will bring. The guardian of the gate will say, no, not quite ready, not quite ready. But in this instance, we are ready. So that's beautiful. Okay, now very quickly over here, this is the kind of a journey that we're on with these partners here. And I'm going to go through these fairly quickly so that I can let you go. It's been a long reading. I had a lot to say, and sometimes it's valuable. So here we have out, and I feel this is an alignment for both the divine masculine and the divine feminine. They're both moving through these energies in tandem or in parallel. Here we have Ilby the Retriever. You can see that this is a beautiful card of vulnerability, loyalty, honesty, looking right at you, going to give you the straight scoop. There's no narcissism here or duplicity or spinning to get you into a place where you've been manipulated. Here we have the Singer of Connection. So this is a beautiful reflection of the kind of connection that Sacred Union has moved into, is in, and now we've got the undressing of the salad, which means, for me as a reader, this means the challenges in the union right now are how are you going to handle these details. This could mean, and you're coming into union, you're moving to another part, out of the state, out of the country. This is big transition, and it seems like it is going to take an enormous amount of energy. And notice this blue energy here. which is lots of things. But in this reading, I feel this blue energy represents having the strength to make these kinds of major decisions on your new fool's journey and just trust that you're going to get it done. I think about moving and I think about packing and I just, it's overwhelming. I can't even get my dishes washed when there's a big bug in the kitchen. That's my feminine side. That's okay. So here we have the master maker. So in this beautiful, honest and loving and now very connected energy, there are going to be some challenges and some details to work out about the relationship that will form as a result of the union, and it's going to take master maker energy to get those details all worked out, because we're probably looking at some very, very powerful, connected, and movers and shakers at whatever scale that works for you, whether it's at work, whether it's in your family, whether it's in your community, or on some other scale. You are bringing in new energies that are mover shaker energies. So good for you, divine feminine and divine masculine. This is both of you moving through these energies. Now, from the master maker, because when we go through these changes, we go inward, we get the changes lined up, and then we come back out and we see things happening in our external environment. So moving toward the external environment now, we have the Singer of Courage. We have Arvel the Parrot, which is a beautiful card, again, reflecting communication. Beautiful communication. And doing that in a way that is going to get details worked out for both partners. And here we have both partners. Here we have the divine masculine. Here you are in your physical embodiment. Your heart is open. Your sixth chakra, your third eye is functioning, and your crown is open. So you're very much in alignment. And here we have the maiden, and I feel this is a confirmation of the divine masculine, grounded and centered and powerful here. And here we have the maiden coming in to a new version of divine feminine that needs protection and strength. Not because she's weak, but because this kind of a transition and transformation requires and deserves support. So the divine masculine is ready to say yes to providing that kind of support in a very, very focused, grounded, kind, careful, considerate, gentle way. I know it's asking a lot, but once you start to really wake up on these ascension journeys, these kinds of choices and behaviors begin to come naturally. They're no longer a struggle. I want to share that with you. It's a beautiful transition. Okay, now we're going to go into the extended reading. I have some more information for you, but here, coming into this beautiful spine of the merge and the timeline shift and these energies coming together to work out their details, who shows up but the devil? And I would say that this is in alignment with this energy, because I will say that the devil doesn't give up without a fight. And here you can see these poor people chained to whatever state of consciousness they're in. You can see their shadows here. This is a very beautiful devil card. And you can see they're chained to the devil. Their shadows are here. And to release themselves from this situation, which is a very painful and contracted consciousness chained to the pain body here, is going to require a death. And this is different than a tower moment, because this means that some part of the identity that you've had for a long time, let's say you've been single for many, many years, but there have been issues, emotional issues and other dynamics, spiritual dynamics, life stories that have kept you chained to the point where you were not able to connect in love with someone else and feel safe and loving, and you were in a situation you could trust. Well, that's being chained to the devil. Now, if you've been in that situation for a long time, whether you're divine masculine or divine feminine, because we both have both in us, then you have the opportunity here to come out of that with a radical shift in your perhaps levels of vulnerability or your willingness to express yourself, or to come out of a mask presentation of who you are. It's not the real you that you show to people when you go on a date. This is going to shift. And in order for you to surrender to letting this happen for you so that you are released and can move forward into a consciousness that will allow you to feel ready to take this fool's journey, this is going to require a really profound change in your own sense of how you think of yourself. And because this is your challenge in these current energies, this is going to require strength, but the Chariot is also here, which means that this is going to happen very fast. You have the strength, and you have intention, and you have divine energy moving you both. I love the way this is playing out, because here she is, here he is, here you are divine masculine, here you are divine feminine, and you're like, we're done. We're done. We know this is it. Here we're coming in, we're going to meet each other, and we're going to recognize each other, and we're moving forward free of the chains that have bound us on any level, because we are ready to go through the next timeline merge and gate, and we're going to go through it together. Could be something that takes place in an hour, a day, a week, a month, or several years. Time is fluid, and here we are. These two are now ready to take this fool's journey together. Okay, so that's going to be it. I'm going to do an extended. If this is where you leave me today, I think thank you for coming along here. And we do have a couple of guidance cards. From Source, we have Whispers, and this is just the kind of beautiful encouragement we need when we're going through a timeline shift. Gentle synchronicities, gentle. Ones we can easily absorb and just nod our heads and say, thank you, I understand that, I appreciate it. It's an expression of what's been going on inside of me, and I get it. Next we have, for the Divine Masculine, we have Awakening. And for the Divine Feminine, we have Remembrance. Because she's bringing many levels of memory have opened up for her while she's been in this mode of taking care of herself and focusing on herself and having a beautiful lighted opportunity to see everything in this space, and having the wand, holding on to this wand of fire energy to do the inner work that she's come through recently. Again, it could have been a long period of inner work. It could have been something that you move through very swiftly, because remember, time is fluid. Okay, so in the extended, I'm going to look a little bit more about some of the other dynamics that are going on here. But if this is where you part company with me today, thank you for watching. And do know that with what's going on here, you're moving together, you're moving forward in the next phase of your Sacred Union Twin Flame journey. That's what I would say is the outcome of this reading. Okay, thank you very, very much. And if you're moving on to the extended, the link is below. And thank you for stopping by. Please do comment, like, and most of all share. The channel is growing, and thank you to all my new subscribers. I so appreciate you. because otherwise I'm just sitting here talking to myself, which it's just not how I would prefer to use my time. I have lots of other things to do, and I feel like I'm talking to my awakening collective, and I'd love to hear something back from you, because it just lets me know that we are in this together, and this is not just an imaginary digital journey that we're all playing with, or being played with. Okay, take good care, and thank you.